Dylan Battistini's third win of the season has him in the points lead as the series heads to the road course at Watkins Glen. Drivers will be put to the test both physically and mentally as they face two races in the same day for the first time in series history. The Watkins Glen Twin 100s are next. 0.5 of a second.
3 wide into one.
Wheel to wheel all the way through the corner.
Drag race to the finish. It is dead even.
We reached the halfway point of the 2008 Firestone IndyLights season here at historic Watkins Glen. Hi everyone, I'm Bob Jenkins along with Robbie Buell in a very unusual situation this weekend. Two 100-mile races, but they're separated only by about 90 minutes. How does that change the strategy?
Well, this is the first time these drivers have ever been put to this task, to have two 100-mile races in one day. Obviously, there's a physical aspect to that, but more importantly, how aggressive do these guys want to be in the first race? In the first race, you got to take advantage of what happens in front of you, but you don't want to jeopardize damaging your race car and not being able to be out there for the second race. You got to remember the big picture. There's the championship points battle around, and you want to be there at the end of this thing of both events.
Mike King is standing by with a pole sitter for our first race.
Well, it hasn't taken Frank Pereira long to make a name for himself in this series. Frank, only your second start here in the Firestone IndyLights series. What do you expect today here at Watkins Glen?
I expect for sure to have a double win today. We have two races, and it's really important for me. It's my second race, and like I said, I was in IndyCar before, and for a reason sponsor from the team, I had to stop, you know. So I stopped 2.5 months, find a ride, and now I'm back in the series who can give me the experience and everything to be back in IndyCar. So I will give the chance for Guthrie to win and for my side to show that I need to be back soon as possible there.
Seems a little like old times. You're starting next to Rafa Matos, who you battled last year in the Atlantics.
Yeah, no, it's very exciting. You know, we are back together in the top, and it was already exciting yesterday. You know, fight for the pole, and so it's gonna be a tough day, but it's very exciting. That's why we do that.
Frank Pereira, he's our pole sitter for Corning Duel #1. Bob?
All right, thank you, Mike. Well, officially, this race has started because we are starting under caution. We're expected to go green this coming lap, and we are under caution because of actually two little incidents. This is James Davison, who stopped in the racetrack and is getting a tow back to the pit area. And then the other incident occurred in another part of the racetrack. The 54 car of Matt Lee spun, as you can see there at the top of your screen, and they had to get his car righted and restarted. Now Davison is a lap down, and he in fact is out of his race car, so he's going to take a hit in the points because he came into this race 14th in the point standings. Okay, we'll show you the starting grid as we near the green flag. That'll be at the top of your screen as Robbie Buell will run down the keys to this race.
Well, the first key to this race is what kind of downforce level do you want to have in the car? These long straightaways here, that's the best opportunity to pass as you get to the end of them. So you want to have straight line speed, but you got to have enough downforce to get through the corners. A tough balancing act. From there, I think the next thing is handling. In some of these higher speed corners, you got to have a well-balanced car that sets up onto the straightaway, especially through turn 10 and 11 that lead on the front straight. From there, restarts. That's an opportunity. It bunches the field back up. That's when you can gain spots.
And as you look at the starting lineup, you will notice that way back in row number 9, starting 17th and 18th, the two Panther cars, Dylan Battistini, the points leader, will start in the 17th position as the cars come off of turn 11, get the green flag, and the first of two 100-milers here at Watkins Glen is underway, and they're 3 wide as they head into turn number 1.
And it looks like everybody's sorting themselves out, so you get through turn 1 and everybody gets through cleanly, led by Pereira.
Frank Pereira, in only his second race in the Firestone IndyLights series, has the lead. Rafael Matos is right on his rear wing as the cars make their way onto the backstretch.
And this is the best passing zone. Here you are 3 wide as you're going into the bus stop right there. Down the inside is Matos. He's got it done. Very fast switchbacks here, second or third gear.
Pereira drops from the lead back to third position as Richard Antonucci came into second, but it is Rafael Matos who has the lead here as we are heading toward the boot now. And Pereira is spinning and into the tires.
You know, If he got a little bit up on the high side there, you can see the marbles on the racetrack, just see the little bit of debris. So if he got a little bit high as he came in there on the right side of the car, you just don't have the grip. And remember, we're not even, halfway through that first lap, still building some tire temperature and pressure.
And another incident, that's Bobby Wilson up the right of your screen. He's made contact with some car or some object.
Yeah, it must be. It's got to be another car. Yeah, over on the left side of the screen there is. Let's take a look at that.
This is the Pereira incident as that car makes contact with the tire barrier.
And he wasn't on the high side of the racetrack. He just spun in the line there, getting in.
From onboard Jeff Simmons' car, you see Frank taking himself out of the race. And so the pole sitter is eliminated here in the early going. Now let's take another look. There it is.
Again, remember, this is a double race day, double points. He knows where he's going to start for that next race, towards the back.
There was contact between Bobby Wilson and somebody whose car is over there on the left of the screen, and we don't have an indication of who it was.
J.R. Hildebrand right there.
Wow.
At 25, looking on board from Jeff Simmons. So that's the initial cause of it. And then obviously Bobby Wilson came into it.
And the car of Bobby Wilson is badly damaged. Back in a moment to Watkins Glen. The Firestone IndyLights series on ESPN2 is brought to you by Firestone, the first name in Indy racing. 6 laps completed and just about to go back to green flag racing already. James Davison, Bobby Wilson, Frank Pereira, and J.R. Hildebrand are eliminated from competition. Here's the green flag, and we go back to competition. That is Rafael Matos leading Richard Antonucci down into turn number 1. Let's go down to the pit area and Mike King, who's with Michael Andretti.
Yeah, Michael Andretti here watching the big screen, watching his driver, Rafa Matos, out in front. Heck of a move for him to take the lead going into the bus stop there on that opening lap, Mike.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, I think, at this place. You're going to have to get great starts and restarts, and he did a good one, but so did Antonucci, so it's going to be a dogfight, it looks like. So.
Opportunity here to gain a lot of points on this day.
Well, we hope. Unfortunately, Antonucci's running second, so he's one of the tough ones that have a lot of points. But other than that, all we can do is what we can do, and Rafa can win here and win later on. We'll be happy.
Yeah, that's Michael Andretti, one of the owners of Andretti Green AFS Racing. He's watching the big screen here. It's his guy, Rafa Matos, out in front. Bobby started the day 4th in points, but he does have an opportunity to make a bit of a move, particularly if there's a problem for Antonucci later on.
Watching some good racing going on here back in the field. Dylan Battistini and Andrew Prindiville running side by side and nose to tail as Matos continues to lead Richard Antonucci.
And when you look with these guys, both of these guys have won races in the IndyLights series. They're very strong, very competitive drivers, very smart drivers when it comes to road course racing. So they're just going to size each other up. Hopefully they'll stay close and we'll see a battle from them all day long here.
Jeff Simmons is running in 3rd position. Let's go on board and have Robbie take us around this very historic 3.4-mile racetrack.
Fast racetrack. It just got twisty bends. Here we're coming along the front straightaway all the way up to 5th gear. He's going to go down to either 3rd or 2nd gear. This is probably the most crucial turn on the track because how you accelerate off of turn 1 sets you up for the bus stop, which is the best passing zone. He's up through the gears now, 4th gear. He's got the little S's, they call them. You're actually going uphill a whole bunch there. You don't get a sense of it. Onto this back straightaway. He's in top gear, 6th gear. This is the best passing zone. This is where we saw Rafa pass for the lead. All the way down to 3rd gear here, 165 miles an hour. Use the curbing. Bam, you can really see him get up on it. Now, up to 3rd gear. This is flat out as you come here through turn 5. Well, a little bit of breathe he gave it there. Up to 4th gear. Back to 3rd. Fast left-hand corner through here. Probably 80-plus miles an hour accelerating. This is the boot. This is what they call the boot. That was the laces. This is the toe, also known as turn 7. Down to 2nd gear. Again, this is very much uphill. You can kind of get a sense of it looking on board. But the elevation change as you go down into the boot here is really incredible. All the way up to 4th gear, down to 2nd gear, turn 8. This is the heel of the boot. And rejoining here in turn 9, this is where the NASCAR course comes across. Right there is where you can see the NASCAR course come across. Accelerating here into turn 11. This is where the high-speed handling, the balance, because this is all in 4th gear, a little bit of a lift, but very close to flat out. You know, having a well-balanced car through here, through this fast stuff is important. And Jeff knows what he's doing around here. That's a fact.
2.5 seconds behind Richard Antonucci. Jeff Simmons in 3rd position. That's Anna Beatrice and the 15 car of Sherman of Dylan Battistini, our points leader, has crashed.
And that is that high-speed transition, having a balance through there, 4th gear, fast stuff. Here we'll look at a replay. He's probably going to get up on the curb. Oh, no, he got a little crossed up as he came to turn 10, hooked back across the track, hard into the barrier. But that actually, I thought he probably got up on that white curbing, but no, the car had a little twitch before that. He tried to correct it, used up some track.
And so the points leader is out of this first race. The 3rd place car driver in the points is also out of competition, so the points are definitely going to change as a result of this race, which of course will affect the 2nd race. Well, Jeff Simmons has 7 career wins in the Firestone IndyLights series, but things didn't go as planned once he reached the IndyCar series. He's hoping for another shot at IndyCars and redemption.
And here comes Simmons out of turn 4. Simmons ready. Awesome job.
The 17 ethanol machine of Jeff Simmons made contact with the outside wall.
Jeff Simmons received the call from Ray Hall Letterman Racing that he had been replaced in the 17 car.
Getting a phone call when you're at the racetrack for the next race, telling you that you're not going to be driving is certainly nothing. It's not anything that any driver would ever want to have. So it was very tough to take at the time. But what it really did was, give me that passion and fire to say, well, you know what, this isn't going to be the end. I'm going to come back and be stronger. It was very disappointing the way that it all came about. I never really got to kind of give my input on things, and I was kind of given the impression that I would have that opportunity. I think that there was maybe a short period where it's like, well, you think, oh, now everybody's going to have a bad opinion of you because you were let go by a team. But I think that a lot of people have seen how things really went about, and I think that I still have a good reputation, and I'm hoping to make that stronger. I mean, if you're not in a good position and don't have the right environment for you, then it's hard to show what you're capable of. So, I'm really trying to find where that best fit would be for me and try to get a good team around me, and hopefully I'll be able to get back in the Indy cars and have that environment where I can succeed.
Mark Moore of Team Moore Racing watching as his 2 cars run in the top 5. Jeff Simmons right now running 3rd. Mark, this has been a convoluted start to the Corning duels.
Yes, it has. I think the track was fine. The conditions were very good out there right now. We just had some people trying to be too aggressive too early. We've all reminded our drivers that they got to finish this race if they want to start the 2nd one, and some guys that are way up in the points right now are already struggling.
Any close calls for Jeff up to this point?
No. I think the one thing is we had to let our tire pressures come up a little bit, and both cars seem to be coming to them. The problem right now is the race is being shortened quite a bit because it'll be a time event. I think we're probably already looking at the race maybe being 7 to 8 laps shorter than expected.
Okay, so Team Moore Racing looking pretty good right now as Jeff Simmons run 3rd. Pablo Donoso currently runs 5th.
All right, thanks, Mike. Getting set to go back to racing once again. It's been a crash fest so far. Rafael Matos has the lead as they come out of turn number 11, take the green flag. Richard Antonucci is 2nd. There's Simmons. There's Anna Beatrice and Pablo Donoso.
Well, you talk about all the crashes that we've had, with this having 200-mile races almost back-to-back, you would think the mindset is, hey, I've got to be a little bit more cautious. Shouldn't want to be aggressive, but, that's probably why we love the sport. You never know what's going to happen. You can script whatever you want in your mind and have a plan, but when the green flag falls, it's a different ball.
Dylan Battistini, the points leader, is sidelined. Let's go down to Mike King.
With Panther Racing owner John Barnes. John, in this game, you got to take the sour with the sweet, and Dylan has certainly had a great season, but this day is going to be kind of costly here at the track.
Well, it is, but I mean, you know, it's everybody so far in this deal has had troubles. You know, with all the leaders in the points championship at one time or another. Today's our day. You know, we'll bounce back.
Had Dylan reported any problems with the car at all?
I don't listen to radio, so I couldn't tell you.
Any idea of whether or not it can be fixed for race number 2, because it looks like there's a lot of damage?
You know, they'll see. The car goes back to the garage right now. They're taking it back. Take a look at it and see what we can do.
That's John Barnes. He's the owner of Panther Racing.
Car looked pretty damaged, and I'm not sure that they can get it repaired, but we will see. There's Logan Gomez, car number 23. He's running right behind Pablo Donoso. Logan Gomez is in 6th position. That's Ari Lyondike Jr. running in 7th. Teammate to Rafael Matos, who is the leader of the race. There's Ari, who was the pole sitter and led the most laps at Iowa, but unfortunately did not record his first victory.
Yeah, that was a little painful for Ari there. He had Logan Gomez in that bright yellow car, just looking down the inside of Pablo Donoso. He's got a little bit of a run on him. Again, this is flat out up through these hills. The S is you want to let the car run as free as possible. You don't want to bind it up. And look at there, he's right on the tail. That is, not giving him much room. But, you know, Pablo didn't necessarily move over. He protected that line, so that really wasn't considered blocking. He came off of that turn and held that inside line. He obviously saw that Logan was right on his tail and said, I better be creative on the front end here.
Had to back out and lost a couple of car lengths, but he's in pursuit once again, and Lyondike is also right there behind Logan Gomez.
You know, we talked about one of the keys of this race is just aero package. So just in that bus stop area, you really have a good run. You're fast in the straight line, so you can pass somebody. Looking at Logan's car, I can't quite tell, but it looks as though he's got more downforce in his car, which is, you know, gives him more grip through the corners, and you know that may be a good combination for what the air temp is and what the track temp is right now. Because he's all over Pablo.
He sure is. Again, this is for 5th and 6th position. Lyondike back in 7th spot. Up front is still Rafael Matos, and he has extended his lead over Richard Antonucci. It's now more than a second.
Yeah, pretty quiet amongst the top 3 right now. They're just kind of biding their time. And you know, we were scheduled for a 29-lap race. It looks like we're going to be a timed event here. We got a 1-hour window, and we got about 20 minutes left. So we're not going to do the full amount of laps, which sometimes changes the strategy. I mean, you can say that now, but in these sprint races, these guys got to drive as hard as you can from start to finish. So I don't know how it changes that strategy. They're just looking to the inside again. Gomez as they're going into the bus stop. He wasn't close enough to do anything there.
This remains the best battle on the racetrack. Everybody else has enough separation between cars, but this is the best battle as Logan Gomez looks for an opportunity to take the 5th spot away from Pablo Donoso. And you saw just a moment ago the interval between 1st and 2nd, and there's also a pretty good interval between 2nd and 3rd as Jeff Simmons is 4.5 seconds behind 2nd place Antonucci. Here comes Matt Lee in car number 54. Mark Olson is there in number 8.
Johnny Reed in that red and white car looking for a way by. There he's looking to the inside as you come into the heel. Look what he's alongside. Whoa! Took it off.
Slammed the door.
Lost a little momentum. He's going to have to regather and come for a strike later.
Matt Lee, car number 54, making his debut in the Firestone IndyLights series. He's from New York State, and so performing in front of the hometown crowd. Right now running back in 16th position. Rafael Matos leads over Richard Antonucci, Jeff Simmons, Anna Beatrice, and Pablo Donoso. We'll be back to Watkins Glen in a moment. Welcome back to Watkins Glen, the first of 2 races for the Firestone IndyLights series today. Bob Jenkins, Robbie Buell, and Mike King along with you. There is our leader, Rafael Matos. Except for the first 2 laps, he has led all the way and now has has a 3.4-second advantage on Richard Antonucci. Antonucci runs second, Simmons third, Anna Beatrice fourth, and Pablo Donoso runs in the 5th position. This would be Rafa's 2nd win of the year. He started on the pole and won the first race at St. Petersburg earlier today. Or earlier this year, I should say.
Yeah, right now he's got this race in hand, no question about that. We're panning back to the 2nd place runner. There's Antonucci. Again, you know, I think when you look at Antonucci in 2nd, you look at Simmons in 3rd. Now these guys are going to say, okay, Rafa had us covered today. What are we going to do in this hour and a half so we're in a position to strike and do what we can to win this race?
On board with Jeff Simmons running in 3rd. He's 9 seconds behind. Next time by, the cars will get the white flag, so we'll be a couple of laps short, maybe 1 lap short of the scheduled distance. It turns into a timed race, 1 hour, because of all the crashes that we have had. There is car number 6, driven by Daniel Harrington, who is running in 8th position. A good run for this young man who started back in 16th.
Yeah, driving for Michael Crawford, and Daniel first got a taste of these cars at Mid-Ohio last year, was very competitive, had some issues in qualifying where he started further back, but you know, talented young driver. Hopefully, you know, he'll keep able to put a program together to, you know, do more and more of these races. So it's good to see him out there running in Michael's car.
This is his first Firestone Indy Lights race of the year. He has previously competed 5 times in the series. Logan Gomez there, the 23 car, has been hounding Pablo Donoso almost all race long. And Ari Lyondike Jr. there in the red and yellow car is also running very close, but nobody has been able to gain any positions.
Yeah, and this has really been our best battle the last 10 laps on the track right here, as these guys just staying in touch. And look at Ari. That's just a quick move by Ari. He wasn't going to make the pass there. That's just the tease move. To
right.
let me fill your mirror and maybe
little intimidation.
Yeah. Force you into a mistake, miss your breaking point. That's all that was. I hope it was.
The white flag comes out, 1 more lap to go. As we continue to watch this battle to see if positions do change here on the final lap. Again, Pablo Donoso in the yellow and green car is running in 5th position. Gomez is 6th, and Ari Lyondike Jr. is in 7th.
Which is that battle right there. 1, 2, 3.
Anna Beatrice there in the green and white car.
Yeah, kind of running by herself. She's kind of had a lonely race there in 4th place. And again, she'll go back and get with the Sam Schmidt guys, get with her teammates and say, okay, you know, Richard, what'd you learn? Run up there in 2nd place. What are you going to have to do to catch Rafa for this next event? And they'll all kind of compile their input and figure out what it is they got to do to be faster, whether it's trim the car out, maybe needs more downforce, maybe there's something in the tire pressure that just affects the handling in the high-speed corners here.
The thing we don't know at this point is, will they be able to get some cars that were crashed in this first race fixed in time for the 2nd race, including the points leader Dylan Battistini. J.R. Hildebrand crashed. So did Bobby Wilson, who was 9th in points coming into this event. We're following around the leader, Rafael Matos, on his final lap.
Rafa, you know, he is definitely the real talent. He's won the Atlantic Championship, the Mazda Championship. So, you know, he just keeps honing his skills. He's got a great team there with Gary Peterson, AFS, and the Andretti Group. He's in the right place.
Rafa's also had some other top 10 finishes. There's the checkered flag. The race is over. Matos wins his 2nd of the year, and he is going to make a jump in the point standings. There is Richard Antonucci driving alongside, giving him the thumbs up. He's going to move to 3rd in the point standings. Matos is gaining a position. Right now, Dylan Battistini and the 15 of number 7 car, rather, of Richard Antonucci are tied for the points lead. The top 10, Rafael Matos, Richard Antonucci, Jeff Simmons, Anna Beatrice, and Pablo Donoso. Logan Gomez, Ari Lyondike Jr., Daniel Harrington, Cindy Alleman, and Johnny Reed complete the top 10. Let's get down to Mike King in the Firestone victory lane.
Rafa Matos back in victory lane for the first time in 3 months. Rafa, 3 months. It was April 5th the last time we talked to you here. Congratulations. Great move down there going into the bus stop there, that 3-wide move to get the lead.
Yeah, it was, you know, it's been a long time since I've been here in the victory lane, and I'm so glad for the AFS Andretti Green team. I knew we had a great car. We had a hiccup yesterday in the qualify, and I just knew the car would be great. I believe Frank ran more downforce than us, and we took advantage of that. And you know, Antonucci, who was pretty competitive during the race, I tried to take my time in the beginning of the race, save the tires just in case of another yellow, and it worked out pretty good. I was able to push hard in the end of the race and build up a comfortable gap. And you know, just thank you everyone in the AFS Andretti Green team, Gary Peterson, and you know, everyone that has been supporting us this year.
Second win of the season for Rafa Matos. Let's bring in Roger Bailey. Roger, the executive director of the Firestone IndyLights series. As you can see, he has the chips in his hand. He's going to put them in the bag. Rafa will now make the pull, and the number that comes out on the chip will determine if we invert any drivers or the number of drivers that will be inverted for the start of the second race. So Rafa Matos reaches in, and he pulls out a 6. So Rafa Matos will go off 6 in race number 2, the second Corning duo. So Rafa Matos picks up a lot of points today, his second trip to victory lane, guys, in 2008.
And it also means, Mike, that Logan Gomez, who finished 6th in this race, will start on the pole in race number 2, for which we will be back in just a moment at beautiful Watkins Glen, New York. Welcome back to Watkins Glen International, getting set for the second Firestone Indy Lights race of the day. Race number 1, of course, quite a carnage, as several drivers, in fact, points contenders. Here's Dylan Battistini, who was the leader in points going in. He had a problem. J.R. Hildebrand, the pole sitter, Frank Pereira, and Bobby Wilson had his car damaged. There was a lot of work, a lot of thrashing going on back in the paddock area between races, and it looks like that Frank Pereira is not going to be able to start this second event, but I think everybody else is going to be okay.
Yeah, we saw Pereira. They got the car back on the track, but obviously something wasn't right on that left front. Here they are jacking it up, and they'll go right to that left front. Just has a lot of extra camber or something still bent in there.
Logan Gomez will start on pole for this second event. Pablo Donoso will line up alongside Anna Beatrice and Jeff Simmons in the second row. You take a look at the starting lineup at the top of your screen. As let's hope, Robbie, that this second race isn't nearly as car damaging, so to speak, as race number 1 was, and we can see a lot more competition on the racetrack.
Yeah, I think really the one thing we got to look at the start of this is we had the inversion. We inverted the top 6. So we got Matos and Antonucci that finished 1st and 2nd in race 1. They're back in the 5th and 6th spot. So let's see how these guys time the start, and let's look for them after they get through turn 1. They go through the fast S's, the fastest section of the racetrack, 165. That's going into the bus stop. That's going to be the best place to pass. So let's see what they do here in turn 1. You've got to take advantage of things at the start and on the restarts.
During race number 1, the best battle all race long was between Gomez and Donoso, who are starting on the front row. Let's hope that continues. We're on board with Jeff Simmons, starting in 4th position. The field comes off of corner number 11, gets the green flag, and here we go again. Look at Anna Beatrice and Richard Antonucci.
Yeah, Bia,
look at the inside.
She's got that done. Bia in the green and white car there, close. Everybody's sorting themselves through.
Oh, well, somebody didn't make it. A couple of cars. One into the inside wall.
Yeah, that was Johnny Reed in the red car there, and I think that was Davidson that was hung up there on the kind of the white curbing as he spun.
Davidson, of course, had problems in the first race, and he has problems in the second race. That's a local yellow only right now.
And there's Matos. He's going to settle. We got a full course yellow, so he backed off right there. I was wondering why he didn't try and stick his nose in, but we had a yellow as they were coming into that bus stop, and he had to slot into his position.
Boy, a nice move by Anna Beatrice on the drop of the green flag as she went inside and was able to get the lead away from the front row starters, Gomez and Donoso. Here it is once again. Look at Anna there on the left of your screen.
Down the inside, holding Gomez off on the outside. He can't come in. She's got the corner very clean, very professional. Everybody sorts themselves out for the most part. There's Johnny Reed in the number 9 getting to the inside barrier. And we saw Davison, who was hung up on the outside. You'll see Davison in the right part of the screen there. He goes right there and looks like he's just kind of hung up there in car 11.
I think Cindy Yoloman may have been the other driver that went off wide in the corner, but Johnny Reed, as you can see, there's Davison. He's stopped. And Johnny Reed climbing out of the car, so he's okay, but we are under caution once again here at Watkins Glen International. Second race of 2 for the Firestone IndyLights, just about to go back to green here at Watkins Glen International. Anna Beatrice, car number 20, is the leader of the race. She started back in 3rd, but watch what happened on the start from Jeff Simmons on board.
And there we're looking from Simmons. There's Bia in the green and white 20 car. She's timed it perfectly. They're coming to the start-finish line right there. Antonucci's pushing in there. Bia's going on the inside of Logan Gomez. She has the inside. Everything's very clean. Antonucci pushes Pablo a little bit. He gets to the outside. Matos with a run down the inside there in the red and yellow car. He's going to have to back it off a little bit because the yellow comes. Here we go.
The green flag comes out. We're racing once again, and this is the replay of the original start, and there you see Cindy Alleman making contact with Johnny Reed, sending him into the tire barrier, and Cindy goes off course but is okay. Now here we go to the restart. Paul Blevin waves the green flag, and we are racing once again. That's Rafael Matos now down there to the left of your screen as he tries to go around Jeff Simmons, and does.
Yeah, he gets that done. He's going to want to carry that momentum, and he's going to want to get on the tail of Antonucci and just really press him in the red and white car in front of him.
And again, we saw a car there at the top of the screen go off course in turn number 1. That's Davison once again. He's had a very, very tough weekend. Anna leads him down the backstretch as the side-by-side battle is between Pablo Donoso and Simmons, and Donoso gets the spot.
He sure does. Right into the bus stop. He had a good run. He drafted up alongside his teammate Jeff Simmons. Had the inside. Jeff had to back off the throttle and give the spot up.
Let's get down to Mike King.
Yeah, busy time down here for Derek Steppen, who is one of the race strategists for the Sam Schmidt team, the Healthy Choice car that is driven by Anna Beatrice. And Derek, I know we're going to have a local yellow, it looks like, down there on the restart. And you were trying to see who the car was. A heck of a start and a heck of a restart for Anna here at the beginning of Courtney Duel number 2.
Yeah, unfortunately, that was our teammate down there in the local yellow, but she did good on a restart, starting 3rd. She got on the inside and took advantage of it. She knows what she had to do.
You know, how important for you guys to get her into victory lane?
It'd be great.
You say she does not talk much inside this race car, a lot of concentration.
That is correct. She just gets in there and drives and doesn't say very much at all.
So that's Derek Steppen. We're going to let him get back to work. One of the race strategists here with Sam Schmidt Motorsports. And as he said, her teammate, unfortunately, brought out that local yellow. So sweet and sour to report here from the Sam Schmidt Motorsports pit stalls.
Well, Anna Beatrice is going to have her hands full, so to speak, because that number 7 car, Richard Antonucci, is coming. He's taken over the 3rd position and now sets his sights on the leader. At the stripe, the interval was less than 1 second.
And when we talk about Antonucci filling the mirrors of Anna, remember, they are also teammates at Sam Schmidt Racing. Looks like, there's Logan Gomez, and there's Rafa right on his tail. He's going to pop out. Nope, can't get it done, has to tug back in. But obviously, Rafa has now seen where Antonucci is up there, and he knows he needs to get by Logan right now. With every lap that passes and that gap grows, just makes it all the tougher for him to get up to challenge for the lead in this race.
Gomez started on the pole for this race, has fallen back to 3rd spot now, and that is Rafael Matos looking for an opportunity to get the spot. Oh, couldn't do it there either.
Yeah, tough place to pass. I mean, you really have to be alongside that car you're passing before you get underneath them. If not, you're just making a high-risk move.
And look at Antonucci, who has come within less than a car length of the leader, Anna Beatrice. We continue to watch that battle for 3rd position. 2 good battles going on here for the lead and for 3rd spot. Antonucci drops back just a little bit, maybe trying to get a run on Beatrice. She has been just so impressive in her rookie season here in the Firestone Indy Light Series. Her best finish was third, and she has done that on a couple of occasions. The first race at St. Petersburg, she finished in third spot, and she also finished third at Iowa. So
yeah.
She's equally good on the road courses and on the ovals.
And you'd have to say right now, when you just kind of see what Bia and Richard are doing here running first and second, is the Sam Schmidt group of engineers and drivers went back and said, okay, what did we learn in race one? What do we got to change? Just those subtle changes to just make our cars a little bit stronger. And right now, these two are pulling away.
Dylan Battistini has also had just a miserable weekend here at the Glen. That car is off course, looks like down in turn number 1. It's a local yellow at the moment.
Yeah. And Battistini, he had made up a lot of spots. And there's Bobby Wilson, obviously some damage to his left front. You know, was that part of what took place with Battistini being up there in turn 1? We'll have to see if we got a replay of that and can sort that out.
Also a very bad weekend for Bobby Wilson. Well, the full course caution has come out. And so at the completion of lap 6 on lap number 7, the caution is flying once again. Here is the contact. Yep.
Yow. And that was Bobby Wilson that came down the inside of Dylan. And he just said, okay, I'm coming down to the apex. And two cars can't get in that one space. Take a look at it again. There's Bobby Wilson down the inside. Tough call. I mean, he was fully alongside him when Dylan tried to come down, and both guys had incident in the first race. Now we're out of the second race. For Dylan, when you take the big picture of points championship here and how valuable those points are, tough day.
Anna Beatrice leading here at Watkins Glen International. Next up for the Firestone Indy Lights is another high-speed oval. Expect lots of side-by-side racing as cars traveled over 180 miles an hour on the high bank corners of the Nashville Superspeedway. The Nashville 100 airs on ESPN2 Thursday, July 17th at 2:30 Eastern. Green flag about to come out once again. Anna Beatrice leading Richard Antonucci off the 11th corner. Here we go once again. Watch Antonucci to see if he's going to try to make a move. He will to the inside, and he'll get the lead.
Very cleanly, you know, Anna gave him space, and they sorted out. But look at the gap back from right there from Anna back to Gomez. That's still, you know, they're probably 3-4 car lengths there.
I'm a little surprised at that. I thought Anna would perhaps be able to hold off the challenge for a while longer, but obviously Richard had a good jump and was able to get the lead. Donoso and Simmons are side by side once again.
Close, close. That's going to slow them both up, sure enough. We're on board with Jeff there, and there's the battle. Jeff's the second yellow and white car, and Pablo's got the green engine column.
That's Ari Lyondike Jr. behind Jeff Simmons. And behind him is Daniel Harrington, who's had a very, very good weekend in car number 6.
Yeah, he's had a very good run here in the second race, driving for Michael Crawford. And, you know, hasn't had a lot of time in these cars, but it's showing he's got some ability given the chance. Now, I'm really surprised that, you know, there's Matos right there in the red and yellow car. I would say after what we saw in race 1, he has the fastest car out on the racetrack. But right now, it just shows you how difficult it is to pass on these road courses. I mean, you have to be able to get through these fast corners and get back to the power so you can get up alongside these guys in the braking zone.
There are only really 2 places where you have a good chance to pass, and that is at the end of the front stretch here into turn number 1, the right-hander, and then in the back stretch as you're headed to the bus stop.
Yeah, and that's, you know, that's where this turn comes out. Look, he dives in there, and he's got it done, just as we spoke. So now he needs to just focus and click off as many clean laps as he can and just concentrate so he can close that gap to be up in front. I don't think he needs to worry about Gomez because I think he's got a faster car, so he doesn't need to pay attention to what's behind him. Just focus on clicking off clean laps.
Meanwhile, Richard Antonucci has stretched out his advantage over Anna Beatrice. It was 1.3 seconds at the line. Now here is Lyondike and Harrington as they battle for the 7th position.
Harrington definitely challenged him, just kind of trying to fill his mirrors as they went through bus stop there.
There's the leader, Richard Antonucci. Anna Beatrice coming along. Rafael Matos now in 3rd. And the 4th place car is Logan Gomez.
And Antonucci's thought process is, okay, I got the lead, no mistakes. He's thinking points championship. You know, we had Battistini, the leader, coming in here. He's lost a lot of points to Antonucci, so I'm sure there's somebody that's kind of talking to Antonucci to let him know where he's at points-wise for the big picture of the championship.
At the moment, he is in the points lead by 30 over Rafael Matos, with Dylan Battistini falling down to 3rd position in the point standings. 4th is Anna Beatrice, and 5th is Ari Leinbach Jr. That's the way they run right now. And it looks like Pablo Donoso may have something for Logan Gomez here in the next lap or so.
Well, they're coming along the front straightaway. Here's where Rafa made the move as they went into 1. Pablo's not close enough this time. And as you said, the next really good passing zone is after the S's here. This is the fast sweeping S's up the hill, and then as you get into the bus stop, that's your next good passing zone.
11 laps completed. We're on lap number 12 of the second Watkins Glen 100. We'll be back in a moment. The Firestone IndyLights series on ESPN2 is brought to you by Firestone, the first name in Indy racing. Coming off another caution, Cindy Alleman involved in an accident. We're ready to go back to racing right now while the leaders are moving toward the start-finish line. Let's take a look at the Firestone lap leaders, and not much to show you so far, as Anna Beatrice led the first 9 laps, and then Antonucci took over and has been leading ever since. And he's got a good jump on Matos, and that could be a very important factor in this race.
Yeah, and really that could be the race for the lead. Is, you know, in my mind, I thought if Rafa had a chance at him, it would be on this restart. And Antonucci timed it beautifully. And even look at Anna right now. She is right on the tail of Matos. She may have a look down the inside of him as they go in there. Sure enough.
We may have a pass for position here. Let's see if Beatrice, nope, couldn't do it.
Whew, she was up alongside, but just when they first got to that braking zone, Rafa just sucked in the breath a little bit and said, I'm going to go, 2 feet deeper.
Well, coming into the weekend, Dylan Battistini was the points leader. It hasn't been exactly a great weekend for him. Mike King has caught up with him back in the garage area. Mike?
Dylan Battistini came into this weekend at Watkins Glen as the Firestone IndyLights championship leader. Dylan, unfortunately, you're not going to leave that way. Probably 3rd in the championship heading to the next round. What happened there in turn 1?
You told me. I didn't see him coming. I was just minding my own business. On the apex of the corner, suddenly I felt a thud and the steering was broken, so I have no idea what happened.
Dylan, interesting season for you so far. You've never run ovals. You have 3 oval victories to your credit. Road and street courses seemingly are forte, but you haven't had much luck there so far this season.
No, not really. I mean, we got rammed off in qualifying at St. Petersburg, and then an engine blow up, and then a 4th, which was my best result on a street track. And then here, we've just not been near the pace, so not a good one this weekend.
That's Dylan Battistini.
Well, it's July 4th weekend. The Firestone IndyLights drivers took part in a very special event on Thursday. Dylan Battistini, Brent Sherman, a number of IndyCar drivers participated in the Pros versus G.I. Joe Challenge at the Corning Museum of Glass. The drivers played video games against soldiers currently stationed in the Middle East using live internet connections and webcams. It's a first-of-a-kind event, a big success for the drivers and the soldiers who are serving their country at Camp Virginia in Kuwait. So Richard Antonucci appears to be on his way to his 2nd victory of the year. He won the 2nd race in St. Petersburg earlier. Paul Blevin waves the white flag. 1 more lap to go. You can see the interval there between 1st and 2nd. Matos 1.1 seconds behind, and really the race could have been lost right there, Robbie.
Yeah, and that's turn 10. That's where you start picking up the gas before you take the green flag right here on the start-finish line. And with Rafa just getting out and upsetting the car on that white curbing, that just gave Antonucci, that 2.5-second gap. And right now, Rafa's just been a little quicker each lap, but there was too big a gap on the restart for him to close it in.
Through the so-called bus stop or chicane or inner loop for the final time. Matos not really in striking distance here. Antonucci's going to have to make a mistake for this thing to go Rafa's way.
Yeah, and I don't think, from the caliber of these 2 drivers, you won't see any mistakes. But remember, this is the 2nd of 100-mile races. This is not necessarily the norm for these guys in terms of how much mileage they're doing in a day with Indy
Yeah, and you would think as we have thought all race long that physically this has to be really demanding on these drivers. 200 miles of racing, plus it's not an oval where you're basically steering and on the throttle all the way. You're shifting gears many times during a lap.
Yeah, physically there's a much greater demand than there is on the ovals and mental. So here we're coming to turn 10. This is right where we saw Rafa get up on that white curbing, and as a result, that was the gap that Antonucci had to win this race, where he's coming home right now.
Richard Antonucci wins race number 2 here at Watkins Glen International, beating Rafael Matos by 0.7 of a second. We'll be back to talk with him in just a moment. Stay with us. Richard Antonucci beats Rafael Matos, Ana Beatriz, Logan Gomez, and Pablo Donoso in the second race here at Watkins Glen International. Down to our Firestone victory lane. Here's Mike King.
Victory lane celebration underway, and there he is, the winner, Richard Antonucci, as he comes out of the Lucas Oil car in victory lane for the second time this season. Great restart on lap 24. It looked like that was the difference, Richard.
Yeah, we worked a lot on this morning's weaknesses, to say, and we were strong on the restarts instead of being strong on the long runs. But that worked off very well because we saw there were so many yellows between yesterday and today. It just paid off really well. I got to thank, I can't thank enough, actually, Lucas Oil and LifeLock and Sam Schmidt Motorsports and all my guys on the 7 crew and within the team just to get me here. And, we've had a really reliable car. We've had no failures, touch wood, so far this year, and that's made us get points every race, whether they're good or bad.
There he is, your race winner here, race number 2 at Watkins Glen, and he will head to Nashville Super Speedway as the IndyLights points championship leader.
Rafael Matos is just 27 points behind Antonucci, followed by Dylan Battistini, Ari Leindike Jr., and J.R. Hildebrand. Beatrice, Simmons, Gomez, Sherman, and Donoso round out the top 10. Thanks for joining us here at Watkins Glen International. We'll see you on Thursday, July 17th at 2:30 Eastern for the Nashville 100. For Robbie Buell and Mike King, I'm Bob Jenkins. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.